Antics, welcome to my channel. I hope you're well today because we have another creative crafty project to have a go at. So in this week's video we are looking at how to make a DIY planner pouch, which is perfect for storing all of your stationery supplies, whether you are bullet journaling, keeping a diary, having a planner or a workbook. It is perfect to keep all your supplies in one place as this wraps around and secures to your planner. There is a zipped pocket to keep lots of pens in, as well as two different types of pockets on the front for keeping some supplies and even your mobile phone if you desire. So all you're going to need is two pieces of material, one that is contrasting from the other to create the outside and inner lining pieces, as well as a contrasting pocket on the front, and some iron-on interfacing, as well as a really nice decorative zip. I will link all my supplies that I used below if you would like to check them out as well. And if it sounds like something you would like to make, then let's get crafting. My planner / notebook measures at 21 centimetres by 14 centimetres. So to make the DIY planner pouch for this size notebook, you will need 2 of the outer material, 2 of the liner material and 2 of the interfacing material, measuring at 18 centimetres by 12 centimetres, as well as 2 of the liner material measuring 12 centimetre by 12 centimetre and 2 of the outer material measuring at 12 centimetres by 9 centimetres, as well as some thick elastic and a decorative zip. The first thing to do in the project is iron all of the material so that there's no creases or bumps in them, and then press on the iron-on interfacing to one of the outer pieces and one of the lining pieces. Make sure that the shiny side of the interfacing is facing the wrong side of the material. This is where the glue is and where it will bond to the material. The first thing to create is the pockets, so place the 2 pocket pieces that match right side to right side. To make the pockets, it is a simple seam across the top part, back stitching each side as you go. Then press the seam open, so use your iron and press down that seam. Once this is fully pressed, turn the material right side round and fold this down back to each other so that the edges are aligned, and press along that newly sewn seam again. Then head back to the sewing machine and just complete a top stitch along that edge to keep the seam laying flat. Take the interfaced outer piece and lay over that larger pocket. This will be in the contrasting material, and place it down so that all of the 3 edges along the side and bottom line up. Then grab your phone if you're wanting to create a phone pocket, or just do some measurements and decide where you want your main pockets to be, using a ruler and some tailor's chalk just to mark off that line where your pocket will start and end. Secure the pocket piece to the outer material with pins or clips, and then sew a seam down that marked line to create the start and end of the pockets. Then take the outer pocket piece and place this over the top of this, lining up the 2 side and bottom edges, and just secure in place with a baste stitch. Then it is time to measure the thick elastic piece to secure the pouch to the notebook. So start by placing this slightly on the front of the notebook, wrapping it round the back till it comes to the front again, and making sure there's a little bit over onto the front, cutting this down. Now you want to make sure that you don't pull too tightly on the elastic, as that will make it harder to attach to the notebook because it'll be too tight. Then pin this onto place on the front of that newly formed pocket front piece. So pin in the middle of the top and middle of the bottom, making sure that the elastic folds inwards so it is all on the outside of that piece of material. Then head back to the sewing machine and baste stitch the elastic into place. Then place one of the lining pieces of material on top of that newly made pocket piece, right side to right side, and secure together with a seam down one edge. Repeat for the remaining outer and inner lining piece. Then press the seams flat by going along the outside and then folding this together wrong side to wrong side so that the two outer pieces are together, and then press again down this seam. This will help the piece lay flat for adding in the zip. Repeat this on both the front piece and the back piece of the pouch. Ideally, you want the zip to be the same length as your pouch, however mine was too long, as was in my makeup bag tutorial, which I will link above. I had to shorten the zip for that as well. So all I did was cut down the zip to the same length as the pouch, slightly larger on one side, and created an end stopper on the sewing machine. So just place this on the sewing machine and hand wind back and forth. Now if your zip is a metal zipper piece in the middle, then this will be harder to do and you should hand stitch it if you are going to be shortening it. Then pin the zip into place on the seam side of the pocket piece of material, if that makes sense, and change the foot on your machine to a zipper foot because this will make it so much easier to attach. Once that is done, you then want to sew along the zipper edge as close as you can, making sure that the material and zip attach together, and then repeat on the opposite side of the material. Once the zip is secured in place and working, it is time to make the actual pouch. So place the two outer pieces, so the pocket front and the back piece, together, right side to right side, and secure these in place with either pins or sewing clips. Now I really like sewing clips, so I'm using them in this project, and repeat with the same bit onto the lining. When it comes to the middle part, you want to make sure that is properly aligned together rather than the edges, and with the zip, make sure this is folding towards the lining piece, again securing this in place. Then we are going to sew a seam all around the edge, leaving a gap in the lining so that the bag can be pulled right side to right side, back stitching on each edge of this gap. And you want to make sure that the zip remains open because you will not be able to turn your bag right side out if it is not. So don't make that mistake, keep your zip open and sew that seam all the way around. Before turning the planner pouch right side out, you just want to go along the edges with some pinking shears or pinking scissors and cut off the corners as well. This will help the pouch be less bulky once it is pulled right side out. Once you are happy, pull this right side out through that gap in the lining and the open zip, making sure that all of the corners are pushed out fully. You want to use either a blunt end of a pen, or I use the seam ripper with an end on, just to really push them corners out and make sure that the corners of the outer part are really pushed out before closing up that gap in the lining on the sewing machine. Then push the lining piece inside the pouch and the DIY planner pouch is ready to be used. There you have how to make your own DIY planner pouch at home. Perfect for taking out and about with you, as well as storing all of your planning supplies in there for easy planning on the go. Now, it's a really easy sewing project and I think it has turned out wonderfully, and I love that you can attach it to the planner. It makes it so much easier to keep them supplies all together. Now let me know what you think in them comments below, what you think of the DIY and what colours you would make yours. I would love to know, so put them in them comments. And if you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a big thumbs up, that would be much appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed, please do consider hitting that subscribe button to keep up with all of my crafting antics. There's a new video every Sunday morning and they range from sewing projects like this to a bit of beauty DIY to a bit of arty and crafty home decor and a sprinkling of travel. There's a lot of different creative things on this channel and coming up onto the channel, so please do consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video. And check out my blog Aimsy's Antics, linked below, because there's always a ton more information over there for you to check out. And with that said, I will see you in next week's video, and I hope you have a lovely day and the rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!